So it is looking absolutely beautiful today. The tree in my front yard has been blooming and it's freaking awesome. It's so pretty. I'm loving it. It is really making me want to start gardening and get the garden going and get some flowers going. So I think today I'm just gonna spend the day potting some flowers and kind of spicing up the yard and getting it ready for spring. Alright, so I've got a couple pots here. I was thinking I might get some soil and put some flowers in these or something. The backyard's pretty barren too, and there's some tulips in the back here, but I was thinking might get a couple more pots just to have back here, just to spice it up a little bit. I've got another empty one over there, and actually, let me check, I might have a couple more empty ones. Do not. So actually what I'm thinking is, I think I might just have one here on the table. Given that there's already some tulips coming in over here, I don't really think I need too many flowers, but along the side, I think I might get a couple pots here and just have one so I can see some flowers as I walk in, and yeah. So I've already got two pots out front. I'm gonna get one for the back and then one right here, and yeah, that'll be good. And I might get a little bit more grass seed. Over the winter, one of the pipes burst, and so they had to dig up right here, and I had actually already started growing some grass, and it was kind of barren there. You can see a little bit of the patches came in, but kind of did away a lot of my hard work, unfortunately. But that is what it is. That's the challenge of creating an oasis and building your own garden, right? You're always going to run into some issues. So actually in the winter, I did put some seed under here, but I didn't really put too much topsoil over top, and it's kind of just gravel right there. So I might get a little bit more soil, some top seed. The owners of this place already pay for somebody, or it's coming out of my rent, but they don't really come by too often. And this, is my own space, and it is my garden that I inhabit, and so I like to take responsibility for it myself and kind of make it the best oasis that I possibly can. So yeah, gonna head to McGuggins now, get some pots, get some plants, and get to it. All right, so I'm on my way to McGuggins. There's a garden center there. It should be open by now. It's been spring long enough, I think. So I'm just gonna pick out some flowers, get some pots. But I'm probably gonna get a coffee first and then get to it. So I didn't have enough space to fit the flowers in, so just got the pots, and then I'm gonna go back and get some flowers. Potting mix. All right, so just got home from McGuggins. I've got some pots, some soil, and some flowers, and I ended up getting a little bit of grass seed. So I'm gonna unload and start going. All right, so I finished mixing up the flowers into the pots that I want them to go. I'm gonna have two that are mostly shadier plants. So the hardy boys here, I'm gonna have in the front, and then these ones here with the Easter bunny bonnets, I'm going to put kind of by the side of my door, and those will probably get some more sun. So I'll start potting those now. All right, so these are going to be the sunnier plants. These two are going to go right beside my door. And then I was thinking I was just going to have this one sit on the table over here. And then I'm going to pot these ones, and they're going to go up front. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Wait till you see her. A, B, C, D, me. All right, so now that I'm done working outside, I was just gonna take a little bit of a pause to log into my own app that I built myself. It's called Oasis Wellness Journal and Diary. It is a tool for self-reflection and improvement. So it's got two sections. The first one relates more so towards that self-improvement, accountability, and chores. And then the other one relates to self-reflection. So if I click here on what I've called the Mind tab, you'll see that there's two different sections, one for habits and one for to-dos. And so I've got already some habits here for stretching and being outdoors, and then a to-do that I want to get to later for building a Segway that I've ordered. And so since I just went through the process of potting some plants, I'm going to want to create a new habit for myself to actually water these. So I'm just going to call this water flowers, and then I'm able to select an image here. I unfortunately don't really have one that corresponds too much to watering flowers. I've got a little teapot with a plant on it, so I'm thinking I might do that or this little plant down there. But I actually kind of like the teapot idea of my plants, my flowers drinking tea, so I'm gonna go with that. And so that's that. And then I can actually create notifications for that because that is something that I won't be doing habitually yet, and it'll be nice to have that notification pop in on my phone to tell me to actually water my flowers. So I'm going to set that to do in the morning, probably before I go to work, and I'll do that for 8:35 a.m. And if you've never turned on notifications before, it's going to ask you to allow. I'm going to click done. And how many times a day do I want to do that? Just once, and then I can save that. And now I've got the new habit. So that's that. The reason I named my app and this channel Oasis is because they're both meant to inspire and aid others to create their own oasis. And so you may be asking, what does it mean to create your own oasis, or build or conjure or manifest your oasis? And so that's really what I wanted to talk about in this video. So to me, creating your own oasis is really synonymous to inheriting your own kingdom or bringing heaven on earth. And while that's not something that I'm always necessarily actively doing, I think that is the highest aim to which I hope to be aspiring to. And in the story of the Bible, Adam and Eve were cast out of the Garden of Eden, and their descendants were all cast out to the desert. And so I think the story that is really taught, or the lesson that really should be learned through that is them trying to create their own garden or get back to that place and really bring heaven on earth. And so I think that is synonymous to inheriting your own kingdom, or, you know, creating your own paradise, gardening your own garden, getting back to the Garden of Eden. So to me, that's what it means to create your own oasis, is to embody that creative spirit that created that garden, and then that it asks us to reach for that highest aim. And so inheriting your own kingdom, creating your own oasis, requires you to be your own agent. And so with that comes a responsibility of really taking control, or taking responsibility of your own environment and making it your own, and doing that with respect for that creative spirit that allowed us to flourish and embody this spirit. So that's what it means to me. And your own oasis can be anything, or your garden can be anything. It can be your house, it can be your actual garden, it can be music, it can be your hair, it can be your sport, your inner self. To me, it really just is that which is created from within. So that's what it means to me, and that's what the app and this channel really are promoting, in terms of an actual lifestyle. And so, just being on top of habits and having to-dos really is just that accountability to what you see as your highest self that you place, and what the end goal is. So if you do choose to download the app, that's what I ask, is that, you think about what is kind of your best self, realistically. If you were to create your own garden, what habits and what accomplishments would you need to get there, and kind of just tackle those one by one. And it's also got some self-reflection tools, just for you to take a step back and reflect, and really think and come to understand and know your inner self, to be able to let that creative spirit come from within and come out. So yeah, that's that. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and kind of share where my feeling is at with that. It's not always something necessarily easy to talk about, and is not always talked about, but I think it is kind of always felt through other people, and you'll see people that are on their own mission and on their own path, and just being around them, that's something that you can feel. So something, if you're not familiar with this already, just to keep an eye out for, and yeah, just to try out and think, what would it mean to create your own oasis, inherit your own kingdom, and return to the Garden of Eden. So yeah.